Welcome to the deep dive. What if everything you're experiencing right now, those, subtle shifts in how you see things, those moments that just click, the synchronicities, or maybe even times you feel unusually emotional or sensitive, what if none of that is random? What if it's actually signaling something huge, something cosmic, like a major corner being turned, not just for you personally, but, well, for all of humanity? It's a pretty profound thought, isn't it? Today, we're taking a deep dive into a really quite extraordinary message. It comes from the Arcturian Council of Five, and specifically an entity they identify as Tia of Arcturus. This was shared on the YouTube channel GFL Station. Now, for anyone less familiar, the Arcturian Council, they're often talked about in spiritual circles as this high-dimensional collective known for their wisdom, their guidance on planetary evolution, that kind of thing, often channeled through people like Tia. And this specific transmission, it speaks of nothing less than a key timeline shift that has just happened on our world. So our mission today is to really unpack that. What could this possibly mean for us, individually and as a whole? We'll explore what they mean by this final phase before Ascension, look at the supportive energies they say are pouring in from across the galaxy, and dig into the really profound role each of us apparently plays in this whole grand cosmic process. Get ready for some, honestly, pretty surprising insights into your own power and purpose. Okay, so let's jump right in. This message from Tia of Arcturus, it makes a pretty big announcement, doesn't it?
It really does. A key timeline shift on Earth. That's major.
And it signals our entry into what they're calling the final phase before Ascension. It's presented not as some vague hint, but like a clear signal, from the cosmos. A response, they say, to humanity's readiness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that phrase, final phase before Ascension, it carries a lot of weight. It's not just another step.
Right.
From their perspective, the Arcturian perspective, it sounds like a kind of graduation point. A threshold where our collective vibration, humanity's readiness, has basically triggered a new, faster path for the whole planet's consciousness.
So the groundwork's been laid?
It implies that, that the foundational lessons are maybe starting to sink in. The energetic setup has hit a critical point, and now the focus shifts. It's about integration, expansion, co-creation, but all happening much faster now.
It's like the universe is saying, okay, you're ready for the next level.
Pretty much. Acknowledging our preparedness to step into something bigger. Not just individuals here and there, but, the whole civilization.
And the universe isn't just watching, apparently. It's actively involved. The message talks about an outpouring of high-frequency light alongside this shift.
And an influx of supportive energies.
Coming from across the galaxy, it's like a cosmic party sending us this huge energetic boost. And it specifies it's delivered by your star family and other benevolent collectives. That paints a picture of a massive team effort.
It really does.
But for someone maybe new to this, how do we wrap our heads around star family or benevolent collectives? Is it more than just a nice idea? What's this collaboration actually look like?
That's a really important question. When they talk about star family or these collectives, they're generally referring to different groups of, higher dimensional beings, often from other star systems. Beings who have apparently been watching over and helping Earth's evolution for a very long time.
Like cosmic mentors.
Kind of, yeah. Cosmic elder siblings, maybe, or guardians.
Yeah.
Their help isn't about stepping in and controlling things. They respect our free will. But it's more like offering support, energy, information, guidance. Especially now, because collectively, we're asking for this shift, this ascension.
So they're providing scaffolding.
That's a great way to put it. Energetic scaffolding to help us handle these intense changes. Like energetic midwives, you could say, helping the planet give birth to a higher state of consciousness, making sure we have the support, but without taking over our own journey.
Okay, that makes sense. It sounds profound. But how are these energies actually delivered? The message talks about immense energetic transmissions.
Right. Downloads of light codes, information, and activations.
From these faraway beings, it almost sounds like, a cosmic software update. And it even mentions a DNA upgrade. But what I found really interesting is that they say we don't need to get bogged down in the technical details. We don't need to know how a DNA activation works scientifically.
Yeah.
What is crucial, they stress, is our conscious acknowledgement that we're receiving them. Just being aware of it.
Precisely. And let's unpack those terms a bit.
Sure.
Light codes. Think of them like packets of vibrational data, high-frequency information, almost like zipped files for your consciousness.
Okay.
They carry blueprints for waking up dormant abilities, speeding up learning, spiritual growth, stuff like that. And they're designed to trigger this DNA upgrade.
Which isn't changing our physical genes like in a lab?
Probably not in that sense, no. It's more like an energetic recalibration.
Yeah.
activating parts of our DNA, maybe multidimensional strands that haven't been active before. Our DNA is likely way more complex than just the physical strands we know about.
Right.
So these activations help our physical and energetic bodies handle and integrate these higher frequencies better, basically expanding our capacity for awareness, for co-creation. The mechanics might be complex, but the key, like you said, is just being consciously open to it.
So it really boils down to a simple open heart and mind, not needing a PhD in astrophysics. The message really hammers this home. Just acknowledging these transmissions allows them to integrate fully. It's a call to actually intend to receive them, to open up physically, energetically, and within each chakra center to welcome these gifts. But it's not just about us getting a personal boost, is it? There's this dual purpose. It speeds up your own growth, sure, but at the same time, you anchor these energies into Earth's grid for all beings to benefit. You become a conduit of the new timeline's light.
Yes.
What does that really mean, though, being a conduit here? And how does my personal intention help anchor something for the whole planet?
That idea of being a conduit is absolutely key. It shifts the whole thing from just my personal journey to being vital planetary service. When you consciously decide, okay, I'm open, I intend to receive, and you visualize opening up, maybe through your chakras, those energy centers, you're not just upgrading yourself.
Okay.
You're actively participating in upgrading the planet's energy field. Imagine Earth has this energetic grid, right? With twirly lines, that kind of thing. Sort of, an energetic structure. Every person who consciously receives and integrates these higher frequencies acts like a living antenna, drawing down these new timeline energies and grounding them, anchoring them into that grid.
So more people do it.
The stronger, more stable those energies become for everyone. For all life, not just humans. So your personal growth, when you choose to be receptive, directly fuels the planet's ascension. Individual experience becomes this powerful collective service.
Wow. Okay, a living antenna for the new timeline. That's a powerful image. But, the practical question follows. How do we actually do that day to day, beyond just saying, I'm open? What do these galactic gifts look like in real life?
Right, making it tangible.
The message encourages making conscious receiving a daily practice now in this new phase. They even give a specific tip. Before you go to sleep, set an intention to witness in your dreams the energetic work being done on you and through you. It sounds like sleep isn't just downtime anymore. It's like active upgrade time.
It really does seem that way. Our sleep state is potentially a really profound time for this recalibration. By setting that intention before sleep, you're kind of programming your subconscious, which is much more open to subtle energies when the conscious mind is offline, to be receptive and, importantly, observant.
So you might actually remember things.
Potentially, yeah. It's a deliberate invitation for your higher self and guides to show you the full story energetically. And the Arcturians really emphasize the power of expectation here.
Expectation.
Yeah. The more you expect to receive something valuable from your sleep journeys, from these daily energy infusions, the easier it gets to actually recognize the subtle upgrades. It's not just wishful thinking. It's tuning your mind and emotions to perceive what might already be happening, but could easily go unnoticed if you're skeptical or not paying attention.
Cultivating an inner radar, almost.
Exactly. And letting your subconscious work with these higher realms while you rest.
Okay, so be more aware during sleep, but also, presumably, during waking life, too. The message advises paying attention to unusual experiences and synchronicities, those moments you cannot easily explain, or feelings, sensations that seem like anomalies.
Right.
And here's the interesting part. Instead of just dismissing them as weird, we're told to luxuriate in the feeling of being surrounded, supported, and even bombarded in a good way by high-frequency energy.
Bombarded in a good way. I love that phrase.
Me too. It's so vivid. It's asking us to completely reframe these odd things. See them as signs that the integration is actually working, not just random blips.
Precisely. And putting that into context, these aren't random. They're the feedback loop, the experiential proof that these transmissions are integrating into your system. And the advice to luxuriate in them is key.
Why luxuriate?
Well, often when something odd or unexplainable happens, our default is to analyze it, maybe even fear it.
Yeah, try to rationalize it away.
Instead, they're saying just feel it. Immerse yourself in the sensation of being energetically held and supported. Think of it as your system recalibrating and sending you little pings, like internal notifications, maybe sudden bursts of joy, feeling warm for no reason, tingles, really vivid dreams, or those strange coincidences where everything just flows.
Okay.
And that visualization, they suggest, Bathing in the love and light that is continuously pouring down upon you from the higher realms, that's a powerful way to reinforce that receptive state. It shifts your perception from weird anomaly to comforting cosmic hug. It's moving from analysis to just pure experience and trust.
That is a lovely image, bathing in light. And speaking of receiving, here's a piece of advice that feels, well, almost radical in our culture of hustle and grind.
Oh, yeah?
In this phase, it actually serves you to do less and receive more.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's about allowing yourself to relax into the flow of these blessings, which then leads to feeling enriched and uplifted. It almost sounds too easy, doesn't it?
It really does.
But the source doubles down, reinforcing that you are not an isolated being trying to ascend all by yourself, but you're a cherished part of a galactic family that is showering you with assistance. So embrace being a receptive conduit.
This do less, receive more idea.
Yeah.
It directly challenges so much of our conditioning, doesn't it? Constantly striving, pushing, forcing things. It's a fundamental shift. And looking deeper, it recognizes that maybe in this specific phase of ascension, the main action needed is allowing. The energies are here, they're abundant, they're helpful. Our job isn't to wrestle them into submission, it's to open the door.
So less efforting.
Exactly.
Right.
Which might mean prioritizing rest, meditation, nature time, or just quiet moments over constant busyness. And remember, you're not alone. You're part of this huge galactic family helping out.
Yeah.
That takes so much pressure off, right?
Yeah, the feeling you have to do it all yourself.
Right. Instead, you step into that role of receptive conduit, which actually maximizes the betterment for you and everyone else. It redefines work as conscious receptivity, aligning with the flow, trusting the support network. It's a huge invitation to just trust and let go into the unfolding.
That idea of being a cherished part of a galactic family, it really does shift the focus from just me to something much bigger, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It broadens the perspective immensely.
Which leads perfectly into the next point they make for an easier ascension journey, the ability to zoom out beyond your personal life. We're invited to see the larger panorama, the world stage, the galactic stage, even the universal stage. That's a big zoom.
It is a big zoom.
Yeah.
But they reassure us, again, that we're not doing this alone. We're supported by helpers, both physical and non-physical.
Right, including spirit guides, angelic teams, and higher dimensional friends.
Yeah, and it's worth maybe quickly defining those. Spirit guides are usually seen as non-physical beings dedicated to helping one specific person's growth. Angelic teams, more like powerful, loving energy forces. And higher dimensional friends could be all sorts of benevolent ETs or interdimensional beings.
Okay.
But it's not just non-physical help. The message points out that the human collective itself helps. Countless other souls are assisting your ascension simply by living their own lives and adding their energy to the mix.
So just by being here and doing our own work, we're helping others.
That's the implication. Just being alive and aware, working through your own stuff, contributes to the whole shift. Knowing we're all in it together makes the call to see the bigger picture and operate from unity consciousness stronger than ever. It makes it easier, they say, through collective cooperation.
Unity isn't just a nice idea then, it's actually practical.
Highly practical, according to this message. A strategy for a smoother ride.
That makes a lot of sense. And the message ties this collective idea even deeper. It suggests we can find peace with our own personal stuff by seeing how it contributes to the whole picture.
Right.
It says everything you are going through in your individual life is actually helping the human collective, the galaxy, and the entire universe and all its inhabitants. Now that is a perspective shift.
It really is.
It explains that nothing you experience is ever isolated or small because the universe is holographic in nature. So the tiny picture of your personal world actually contains and influences the macrocosm of all that is.
Exactly. That holographic principle is fundamental here. It totally reframes individual significance. You know, the idea of a hologram fragment, even a tiny piece holds the whole image.
Yeah.
It's like that metaphysically. Your life, your unique viewpoint, every challenge, every healing, it's not separate. It's a direct energetic reflection and influencer of the whole cosmos.
Yeah.
Your personal expansion helps expand source energy itself.
So when I work through something difficult,
And you choose, say, love or forgiveness instead of anger, that energetic signature ripples out. It influences the whole collective field. It liberates you from thinking your struggles are pointless or just yours alone. Every single inner shift sends waves through consciousness, helping evolve the galaxy.
Wow.
It means just doing your part and processing your experiences contributes massively to ascension everywhere. Your personal journey becomes universal service.
That completely changes how you look at challenges. They're not just obstacles, they're contributions.
Precisely.
And speaking of the collective, it seems humanity has, as they put it, recently turned a pivotal corner. More people are shaking off the old ideas of oppression and persecution.
A spiritual uprising within the awakened community.
Yeah, this recognition that no one outside of you can truly make you a victim, this idea that you're not under the ultimate control of governments, corporations, or any other supposed authority, is apparently tipping the scales energetically.
That's a huge statement.
It is. Especially now, when external controls can feel so intense. For people genuinely struggling with economic hardship, political stuff, how does this spiritual tipping of the scales actually translate into real-world freedom for them?
That's the crucial link, isn't it? Connecting the spiritual insight to lived reality. This spiritual uprising isn't about pretending external problems don't exist. It's about fundamentally changing our response to them, our internal relationship with power.
Yeah.
When we see ourselves as co-creators, we start understanding that even things or people we see as oppressors are, in a weird way, playing a role in your awakening.
That's tricky territory.
It is. It's not about excusing harm. It's about seeing them as catalysts, maybe, for collective growth. Seeing every other as a partner in this elaborate game of expansion, not just an enemy. This insight helps us move beyond the need to co-create experiences of victimhood.
Lifting the veil.
Exactly. Seeing our own reflection in every interaction.
Yeah.
The message even says the game was never truly against. Specific groups, often named in these circles, reptilians, Anunnaki, Illuminati, politicians, whatever, but always with yourself. With different aspects of the collective, you trying to spur growth.
Wow. Okay.
Waking up to that is monumental. It frees you from the bondage of the victim narrative, the belief that external forces dictate your destiny without your consent. It's deep liberation, empowering you to choose how you engage with the world, which then changes your reality.
And when we wake up from that victimhood dream, it's not just mental.
Apparently not.
The message says it lets us loosen up and allow in all the positive energy you have summoned over lifetimes. Those desires for freedom, abundance, and well-being.
Yeah, like they've been stacking up.
Exactly. They have not been denied, but have been gathering, waiting for you to be ready to receive them. And the key, to deliberately shift your focus away from the idea of external oppressors or anyone holding you back. It sounds like we literally open the floodgates to what we've always wanted.
Indeed. And connecting that back, the moment you stop fixating on an enemy or a savior outside of you, you naturally create space to let in the grace that has been yours all along.
And this isn't just personal gain.
No, it's bigger. This personal liberation is triggering a larger timeline shift for all of humanity. When enough people reclaim that inner power, the collective energy literally shifts.
So society changes from the inside out.
That's the idea. As more people move out of victim mode and into co-creation, the collective naturally starts moving towards a reality without the old hierarchical abuses of power. Existing systems, economic, political, that are built on fear and control will start to transform.
Because the energy supporting them isn't there anymore.
It's exactly. The vision is an era with no need for domineering authority figures or gross inequalities, where we naturally build egalitarian systems that prioritize harmony, collaboration, and freedom. That's the direction, toward equality and unity. And all it requires, they say, is opening yourselves to receive this new reality, powered by that inner shift away from victimhood, a societal reordering sparked by individual awakening.
It's really inspiring, actually, thinking about how our inner shifts ripple out to reshape society like that. And for many of us on this path, that inner work often involves feeling, well, different. The message talks about how many awakened souls have kind of placed themselves on a different wavelength, creating a new standard, not just fitting in. The goal isn't just to tweak or reform the old paradigm so much as to usher in something entirely new.
Right, building something fresh.
But that often leads to feeling like the odd one out, being seen as weird or an outcast by family, friends, people still operating from what the message calls 3D ways.
Yeah, that feeling of isolation is very real for many. And when they say 3D ways, they mean that denser reality, often focused on survival, ego, linear time, believing in external limits. The Arcturian Council really validates that feeling.
That's good to hear.
They acknowledge that we're social creatures, we want to belong, be understood, but they say you cannot unknow what you know. Once you've had a taste of this expansive truth of a multidimensional universe, you just cannot squeeze yourself back into a small conventional box.
No going back.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So even if it feels lonely sometimes, the message affirms you chose this journey for a reason. The very fact that you feel different, that you can't easily have those typical conversations because your mind is buzzing with extraterrestrials, parallel universes, angels, fairies.
All the magical stuff.
Right? That's actually a sign you're succeeding in changing the energetic landscape of your world. You're holding space for a higher vibration just by being authentically you. That's crucial for forging the new standard.
Wow. Okay. Reframing being the weird one as succeeding. I like that.
Too.
And it sounds like sticking to this unconventional path brings beautiful rewards eventually. The message predicts the very things that made you feel like an outsider. They'll actually make you a guiding light. It says, you, the so-called weird ones and misfits, are destined to become the divine leaders and guardians as Earth shifts into higher consciousness. That's quite a destiny.
It really is.
It paints this picture of the future where, when the collective awakening hits a certain point, loads of people will be confused, looking for answers, needing comfort.
And you'll be ready.
Exactly. But what does being a divine leader look like in this new way? Especially if people still deep in the old ways might not, rush to ask the weirdo for advice.
That's a great question. This leadership isn't about power over, obviously. It's about service. As divine leaders and guardians, you will be ready to step in and explain what is happening, offering guidance, support, and reassurance to those struggling with the new normal.
So it's part of the soul mission.
Seems so. Paving the way energetically, being a beacon, bridging the gap. And the message emphasizes extending a loving hand, even to those still very much in the 3D ways. That requires huge compassion, zero judgment, remembering what it felt like to be misunderstood yourself.
Meeting people where they are.
Exactly. Offering your wisdom from service, not superiority. Leadership based on empathy. And trusting that you will find soul family and kindred spirits, others on your wavelength, to help welcome everyone ready for the new Earth energy, building bridges with your unique light.
That's a really beautiful vision of leadership. And speaking of connecting, the message says, our urge to connect with ETs, guides, higher dimensional beings. It's actually awakening deep memories within yourself. It's not just connecting with someone else, it's opening a door to connect with other versions of you.
Now that is a fascinating concept. The idea of ourselves as multi-dimensional beings, beings who've traveled all across this universe, giving our oversoul, our higher self, our bigger spiritual essence, tons of different experiences, lifetimes in many forms, on many worlds, and in many dimensions.
So when I'm fascinated by, say, Arcturians or Pleiadians,
It's not just random curiosity, it's potentially a reconnection with aspects of your own vast self. You're drawn to them because they represent parts of your own essence that is ready to come to the forefront.
wow.
This multidimensional exploration is described as a delightful part of the Ascension journey, precisely because it mirrors the reunion with your own bigger selves. It's self-discovery. In reaching outward, you are, in a very true sense, reaching inward. You're literally remembering cosmic parts of yourself.
So those deep interests, those pulls towards certain star systems or beings, they're invitations to know myself better.
That's what it suggests.
The source says pursuing these connections wakes up dormant energies and aspects of your soul. We might get flashes, recall a lifetime where you lived among the stars, or just deeply resonate with stories or images of other worlds.
Right, because apparently we carry the energy of all your parallel and past incarnations right here and now.
Okay, what does that mean, though? To carry the energy of past lives, how does that affect us now?
Well, the message explains that some aspects of our bigger self might have had physical lives in different star systems, and they hold certain gifts and knowledge, maybe healing skills, tech insights, deep wisdom. Others might have stayed non-physical, acting as guides.
Okay.
All these multidimensional facets of your soul are rising to the surface now to be integrated. They're calling to recognition. And this grand homecoming of your soul's fragments brings gifts. Maybe latent healing abilities kick in, or you start getting really clear, intuitive guidance from a wiser celestial part of yourself.
Do you need to know all the details? Like, I was a healer on Sirius B.
Apparently not. You need not know every detail for it to work. Just allowing those dormant soul energies to stir, intending to integrate them, makes you more whole, more aware of the true vastness of your being. And there's tremendous joy in knowing yourself not just as this one human personality, but as this ancient cosmic being with this incredibly rich history.
That's an incredibly freeing view of identity. It dissolves that feeling of being small or separate.
Exactly.
And from that bigger viewpoint, the message says, it doesn't matter how alien another being seems, you understand they're also a part of you and you are part of them. This makes connecting with galactic beings ever more effortless, eventually feeling as familiar as calling up a dear friend on the phone.
That deep knowing of unity. That's where the barriers really fall away. It moves beyond just connection into actual union. The Source talks about no greater satisfaction than experiencing the blending of your consciousness with that of another being and realizing there was never truly a separation. In those moments, any fear of the unknown is replaced by a profound sense of remembering. You remember that you are them and they are you. And that remembering opens your heart wider than ever before, letting in so much love and wisdom.
So next time you meditate or try to connect,
keep that truth in mind. Know you're meeting another aspect of yourself. Allow that joyful reunion to unfold without resistance or doubt. It's an invitation to experience profound union where every connection just expands you.
that feeling of universal connection, that reunion sounds amazing, but, amidst all this talk of cosmic support and galactic families, the message from Tia brings it back home too. Do not forget the gentle nudges from within.
Right, the inner compass.
We each have our own wonderful team of helpers, spirit guides, higher self aspects, and distant guardians, all nudging us towards our highest good and most fulfilling path. And these inner promptings often speak softly, they say. Subtle urges, intuitive feelings, respecting our free will.
Yeah, which raises the question, how do we actually hear those soft whispers amidst all the noise of modern life?
Good point.
What's crucial is the contrast they draw. Unlike outside information, media, peers, societal programming, which often have their own agendas.
Right.
Your inner guides, their only agenda is to serve you. They operate from unconditional love. So to hear them better, the advice is pretty classic. Quiet the external noise. Tune inward. Spend time in silence, meditation, nature, whatever works for you.
It's not about them shouting louder, it's about us listening better.
Exactly. Their guidance gets clearer, the more receptive and trusting you become. Acknowledge them, thank them, listen with your inner senses. That raises your vibration to match theirs. They're already transmitting to you constantly. It's your perception that must tune in.
And let go of needing to figure it all out mentally.
Yes. Surrender the need to intellectually know every detail. Release that compulsion to figure out each step with your mind and just open to the magical guidance of spirit.
Yeah.
Trusting your intuition like it's your most sacred tool.
Trust the subtle whispers. Okay, and this seems especially important now with these accelerated energies they talk about. The message says to let go of the need to know how and when all of your desires will manifest. That this is crucial in the accelerated energies of this final phase.
Right, less focus on the specifics of the outcome.
And it even suggests that our intuitive impulses might actually get less gentle now. They might become more insistent because the higher frequency energies are stronger and faster.
That's a really key insight. The nature of guidance might be shifting. As things speed up, those little breadcrumbs of bliss might feel more like, well, undeniable invitations, a divine nudge that's harder to ignore.
Less subtle, more obvious.
Potentially. So instead of needing a detailed plan, we're encouraged to just ride the wave of excitement, allow ourselves to be swept up in inspiration and positive expectancy.
That sounds fun.
It does. And it's not just passive daydreaming. Aligning with that joyful anticipation of your dreams is the same as aligning with the higher frequencies that create them. You're matching the vibration.
So trust those flashes of inspiration, the sudden urges.
Exactly. Follow those nudges, start that project, call that person, and trust you will naturally be guided step by unseen loving hands. And remember, you've got that entire team on call. Guides, angels, helpers, ready 24/7, loving you unconditionally.
What do they need from us?
Just our permission and openness to receive. Practicing saying things like, I am open to your guidance, please show me the way, and then letting go of the how. It means life becomes less about struggling to make things happen and more about allowing things to happen, feeling carried by divine timing as support.
Allowing, not struggling. That's a recurring theme. But, okay, as we open up to these higher frequencies, the message also gives a heads up. We might notice new sensations arising within you. Vibrations that feel unfamiliar or even a bit unsettling at first.
Yes, the so-called Ascension symptoms.
Right. But it's described as a natural part of leveling up your frequency.
Exactly. And putting that into context, these aren't signs something's wrong. They're a normal part of the upgrade process. The Source uses a great analogy. It's like breaking in new shoes. They might feel stiff or rub a bit at first, even though you love them and know they'll be great eventually. You invited and purchased these higher frequencies at a soul level because they hold the expanded abilities, insights, and light codes you need for ascension.
So the discomfort is just the adjustment period.
That's the idea. When you experience these symptoms, maybe temporary headaches, fatigue, weird aches, emotional swings, vivid dreams, appetite changes, all sorts of things, it's just your system adjusting to something you ultimately want. You're literally expanding your comfort zone to include a higher vibration.
And it passes.
It passes. And after that adaptation, you will walk and run with far more lightness, comfort, and satisfaction. Seeing it this way helps meet it with optimism, not fear. The cosmic new boots analogy. Stylish, but maybe painful at first.
Exactly. That breaking in period is just our system getting used to a higher gear, like adjusting to a new climate or something.
That's it.
So see symptoms as progress, not problems. Got it. And along with new sensations, the message says taking on new frequencies also makes us aware of what is not compatible. It triggers a purging process, meaning old energies, beliefs, or physical toxins may surface to be cleared out.
Yeah, and what's interesting is how they frame this purging. It need not be unduly unpleasant if we are aware and gentle with ourselves through it.
Okay, how does that work?
When higher frequencies flow in, they basically shine a light on anything within us, vibrating lower old traumas, limiting beliefs, stuck emotions, even physical toxins. They surface to be cleared. The key is seeing these challenges or symptoms as a direct result of your vibrational upgrade.
Which allows for optimism instead of fear.
Right. We're encouraged to tell ourselves, I am evolving and this is part of my evolution. Viewing everything as an essential piece fosters trust that it's all worthwhile, leading somewhere beautiful. When we allow it, this activation can actually be blissful. Give yourself permission to slow down and receive.
And the Arcturians are happy watching us level up.
Apparently. They delight in watching us sparkle and shine brighter than ever as you embody more of your true light, reinforcing that even the tough bits serve the magnificent purpose of shedding the old.
That's such a powerful way to look at it. Challenges as part of a beautiful evolution. And this connects right into the idea of true transformation, which the message insists works from the inside out. So many of us trying to change things we don't like, circumstances, through sheer effort and struggle, right?
Yeah, pushing against the outer world.
But the message says the outer world is only a mirror. So to change the reflection, you have to shift your inner state.
That's the core principle.
Which means conscious creation isn't really about controlling external factors at all. It's about mastering your own vibration. And this is presented as the path of ease and the only lasting way to ascend to a higher reality.
Right, which immediately brings up the question, okay, how do we do that? How do we actively master our vibration day to day?
Good question.
The source is clear. The outer world mirrors your inner state. Trying to change the reflection by polishing the mirror, struggling with the external stuff, only brings temporary fixes, if any. Real, lasting change comes from shifting what's in front of the mirror. Your internal landscape.
Our thoughts, feelings, beliefs.
Exactly. Conscious creation is fundamentally about recognizing that those things are constantly broadcasting an energetic signal, and then learning to deliberately tune that signal. Taking responsibility for your inner world. When you intentionally shift your vibration, the outer world has to reflect it back eventually. That's why it's the path of ease. It bypasses wrestling with external forces and empowers you to create change from your core.
Okay, so how do we tune that inner signal? The message gives some key steps, right?
It does. 3 main ones. First, shift your perspective. Instead of judging or complaining about a situation, intentionally look for a redeeming or growth-oriented angle. Ask, how might this be serving me? What's the lesson here? This softens resistance and puts you back in the driver's seat.
Okay, find the silver lining, basically.
Or the learning opportunity, yeah. Second, honor your emotions. When something triggers you, don't stuff it down or judge yourself for feeling it. Allow the emotions to flow. Feelings are just varied indicators of your current vibration. Fully feeling and releasing them clears out dense energy and your baseline frequency naturally rises.
Feel it to heal it.
Pretty much. And third, tune into your desired vibration. Identify the feelings you want: love, peace, freedom, abundance, whatever. Then Actively generate those feelings inside you now. Use imagination, gratitude, intention. Feel as if your ideal is already real. This is actively tuning your vibration higher, which the outer world will then start mirroring back faster.
Okay, those are really practical steps.
Yeah.
Perspective, honoring emotions, feeling the desired state now. And alongside all this inner work, the message highlights something absolutely crucial. The greatest gift you can give yourself? Compassion.
Yes, self-compassion.
It says the higher realms hold tremendous compassion for us, seeing the enormity of the challenges we face down here. So it's essential we cultivate that same understanding and gentleness towards yourself.
And the insight here is that self-compassion explicitly will make your path so much lighter. Instead of constantly measuring your spiritual progress, comparing yourself, beating yourself up.
Which is so easy to do.
Totally. Instead, just extend kindness inward. Acknowledge you're doing the best you can under often difficult circumstances. Remember, the Earth experience is inherently filled with tests, setbacks, disappointments, and even losses for everyone. Knowing that helps you offer unconditional love to the person who needs it most to you.
And it's not self-pity.
Definitely not. It's not indulgence or making excuses. It's about finding strength and sorrow and the will to continue on, allowing things to be as they are without harsh judgment. When you offer yourself that compassion, it lifts that heavy weight of self-criticism. It gives you permission to be exactly where you are.
That sounds incredibly liberating.
It is. Loving yourself through every perceived flaw or stumble unlocks a new level of ease. You step into a state of grace that not only heals you, but also uplifts the collective. It opens the door to real joy and sustainable growth. #7, your profound service and the fabric of divine love.
It's becoming really clear that this inner work, this self-compassion, it's not just selfish navel-gazing, it has these huge ripple effects.
Absolutely.
And the message really emphasizes that point. Choosing to be here, incarnate on Earth, during this intense time of change, it was not just about personal growth, it was part of something much larger. This lifetime is called extraordinarily significant. Earth is described as a focal point for the evolution of consciousness in the entire universe. That's quite a statement.
It puts things in perspective, doesn't it? And what's fascinating is the idea that we knew coming here, aiming to shift from 3D to 5D would be a monumental challenge. Yet at a soul level, we volunteered enthusiastically.
We signed up for this.
Apparently. Which underscores that soul level understanding. Just being here now is an act of profound service. We, along with countless other light bearers, came to anchor the light and transmute the darkness, taking on, as they put it, more than your fair share of the workload in this grand Ascension project.
Wow, that's a big responsibility.
It is, and they acknowledge this massive undertaking is not one for the faint of heart. But, and this is crucial, we were never meant to do it all by yourself. We knew we'd have support from our spiritual team and by higher dimensional collectives. Entities like the Arcturian Council, angels, ascended masters, they step in to bolster you with energy, guidance, and love when you need it most. It's a massive team effort, and just your presence here is vital.
That's incredibly validating. To know our being here is service and we're not alone in it.
Totally.
And the message takes it even further, saying what we accomplish here has far-reaching implications. We are literally helping to raise the frequency of the entire universe.
Yeah, midwifing a new reality into existence. Creating a better, higher vibrational universe through the transformations you undergo here now.
How does our personal stuff here on Earth affect the whole universe like that?
Well, the idea is we're doing it from the trenches, by facing challenges, healing wounds that actually echo across the cosmos. Think of Earth, this free will zone, as this unique cosmic experiment lab for consciousness.
Okay.
The lessons learned here, the darkness transmuted, the frequencies raised, they don't stay contained on Earth. They create new blueprints, new energetic pathways for other evolving civilizations everywhere. So every bit of shadow you confront and every fear you overcome in your human life sends positive shockwaves throughout creation.
That's how powerful our contribution is.
Apparently, yes. The Council says they certainly acknowledge, see, and honor you, emphasizing how valuable you are. Which leads to that important question for all of us. Are we acknowledging ourselves enough? The message invites us to adopt that loving perspective toward yourself. Give yourself credit for how far you have come and for all that you have transmuted. And remember, when you feel exhausted or overwhelmed, there's an endless supply of support and love to draw upon. You are truly never alone.
That's such a comforting and empowering thought, constantly supported, and our efforts matter universally. And at the very core of all these energy transmissions from the council, the sun, the planet, wherever the message says the essence is always pure divine love.
Yes, love is the foundation.
This love is the fabric of this universe and the essence of your being. It's why you are here and what you are here to remember.
That principle of divine love. It's the ultimate guide, isn't it? The very stuff existence is made of. So, in this final phase before Ascension, the call is simple but profound. Let love be your guiding principle. Let it flow to you and through you unimpeded.
And choosing love aligns us with the highest frequencies.
Exactly. It makes you a powerful conduit for all the incoming energies. And that recent timeline shift, it's put us on the fast track, the home stretch of this grand adventure. Things are moving faster and higher now, which is actually to your benefit. It allows for rapid change.
Just any advice?
Maintain your heart-centered focus. Keep your intention rooted in compassion, joy, unity. And know that the waves of change are carrying you to exactly where you need to be. It's a deep call to trust in the process and in your own radiant heart, knowing love is the core of it all and your greatest power.
Trust the process and our own radiant heart. That really sums it up beautifully. Finally, the message emphasizes that a lot of what we're going through right now, even the tough stuff, is actually a culmination and clearing.
The final stages.
Many of us are delving into the deepest layers of your being, unearthing old emotions, patterns, and memories that needed to be acknowledged. It might feel like we're struggling, maybe even going backwards sometimes.
But the message says no. You are doing exactly what needs to be done in this last leg.
Okay, why does it feel like struggle then?
Well, think of that hot air balloon analogy again. It must drop sandbags to rise. We are shedding densities so that you can elevate into the next dimension with ease. This reframes those difficult moments, the emotional releases, the old issues resurfacing, not as failures, but as necessary letting go.
Necessary baggage dumping.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in those tough moments, remember the bigger picture. I am clearing this for my highest good and the highest good of all. I am helping to free the collective from these old energies. That perspective turns struggle into purpose.
So every trigger, every shadow faced
Becomes fuel for your ascension. There's springboards launching you into a new reality, not setbacks pulling you down. So the message encourages us. Hold your faith in your vision. Why? Because the finish line is in sight. That's the feeling. Embrace each day knowing you are on the verge of a profound shift. Step forward with confidence. Because another key timeline shift has occurred, and it has set the stage for the grand finale of this Ascension journey. And remember, your galactic family is right there with you, in loving support, always, cheering you on. #outro.
Wow. Okay, what a journey we've just taken through those insights from Tia of Arcturus. We started with that huge idea of a monumental timeline shift, understanding it marks this final phase, apparently triggered by our collective readiness.
A major milestone.
Then we explored that cosmic support system, the high-frequency light, the light codes, the DNA upgrades from our star family, and really grasped our active role, your active role, as a receptive conduit in all this.
Becoming that living antenna.
Exactly. Then we got practical, talking about conscious receiving day-to-day, using dream time, seeing synchronicities as feedback, and embracing that almost revolutionary idea of do less and receive more.
Letting go of the struggle.
Right. We zoomed out to see our place in the collective. How the holographic universe means your personal journey impacts everything, and that massive shift from victim thinking to reclaiming co-creator power, which is apparently reshaping society towards equality.
From the inside out.
We also really validated that feeling of being the odd one out for a weakened soul, seeing it not as isolation but as success, preparing you for future roles as compassionate leaders, and realizing that connecting out there with galactic beings is actually about reconnecting in here with your own multidimensional self.
That vast cosmic identity.
Then we tuned back inward, remembering our inner guidance, how it might feel more insistent now with accelerated energies, and reframing those sometimes challenging ascension symptoms and purges as vital evolutionary steps.
Necessary clearing.
And we touched on conscious creation by mastering our inner vibration and the absolute necessity of self-compassion, not just for you, but for everyone.
That kindness inward.
So, okay, boiling it all down, what does this mean for you, listening right now? It means you're not just watching things happen, you are a vital co-creator.
a light bearer, actively shaping reality for yourself and, believe it or not, the entire universe.
That's huge.
It means you are supported deeply by this unseen, loving galactic family and your own inner team guiding you constantly. And those times you feel different, maybe even isolated. Those are the very qualities preparing you to be a compassionate, guiding light in this new era.
Your uniqueness is your strength.
Exactly. So as you navigate this home stretch of Ascension, remember that core truth. Pure, divine love. You're shedding the old, healing, raising frequencies, not just for you, but for the cosmos. So here's the final thought to ponder. What does it truly mean to trust in the process and in your own radiant heart when you internalize the idea that the entire universe is ascending through you and with you? How might knowing that transform your very next challenging moment, turning it from an obstacle into a springboard for profound joy and unwavering faith in your own limitless potential?